Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to be talking about 5 potential Brock Lesnar opponents for WWE Royal Rumble 2018. Now I actually have it written down on paper, so plus I probably won't say all of it because there's a ton of stuff that I have written down, so I just highlighted the stuff. I just went through it a few minutes ago, highlighted all the stuff that I would like to. If this makes sense, I just went over a few minutes ago, reread the whole thing, and highlighted the part that I think would sort of be more important in a way than the other stuff. The other stuff you don't really need to hear, but the stuff that I wanted highlighted, I kind of wanted to say. So it probably doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes more sense to me because I'm the one that did it, and then I'm telling you guys, and the way I explain stuff is very confusing sometimes. Depends on what I'm explaining. But before I get into it, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Subscribe if I just said subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Just said that 3 times, but go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you would love to see one of these matches. If it's one of your dream matches, just give it a thumbs up. Plus, we have seen most of these matches before, but one of them we actually haven't seen, I'm pretty sure. So, if you still want to see that match, just give this video a thumbs up. And let's just get into it. So, as most of you all know, the last time he defended his title, the Universal title, was at September's No Mercy event. And if I look down here, I'm looking at the paper. When he beat Braun Strowman clean in under 10 minutes. Which I was kind of shocked about because most of you guys already know this. Not many people can beat Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has beaten Mark Henry, Big Show, Brock Lesnar, I think. Could be wrong, but he might have beaten Brock at one point. Maybe for not a title, but he probably did beat Brock at one point. Yeah, Braun beat Roman Reigns tons of times. He beat Samoa Joe. Yeah, Braun's beat pretty much every strong man in WWE right now, so that's why he's called the Monster Among Men. But, yeah, I was kind of surprised that Brock actually beat Braun, especially in under 10 minutes. I don't think anybody could pull that off except for Brock, obviously. But Lesnar also beat the WWE champion AJ Styles at Survivor Series 2 weeks ago. But that was a non-title match. If you're wondering about the All Champions must defend their titles within 30 days, rule that WWE sometimes enforces and other times ignores, they're currently in the ignoring phase. There were reports a few months ago that Lesnar was going to face Finn Balor, which is actually one of the men on this list, but I'll get into that in a few minutes. Likely at the Royal Rumble on January 28th in Philadelphia. And WWE Chairman Vince McMahon doesn't feel like Finn Balor is over enough. And then the plan for the Royal Rumble has changed. So basically, Vince McMahon has decided that, Finn Balor is over. Not really over, but Vince practically wants him to be out of the title picture because I'm guessing if he's being used too much. I don't know, but Balor has responded to the he's not over enough stories on Twitter over the last week with various tweets where he mentions the word over repeatedly. He also included a WWE.com poll. If I can find it, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. Where he had an overwhelming support as the answers to a fan question of who the WWE Universe wants to see Brock Lesnar face next. So, the first one I have is Kane. So, with the way WWE is pushing Kane since his recent return, it will make sense to give him a shot at Lesnar. Kane's main rival is Braun Strowman at the moment, because he had, like, Kane did attack Braun Strowman at TLC in October 22nd. He accidentally punched Braun Strowman. And then a bunch of other stuff went down between the two, and Kane, The Miz, and Cesaro and Sheamus helped together to put Braun Strowman in the back of a garbage truck. So that's basically how the feud between Kane and Strowman started. But the two have yet to have a blow-off grudge match. Strowman and Kane does. Although I would expect that to happen at some point this month, December, because today is December 1st. I can't wait till Christmas. It'll be awesome. As a Raw main event, similar to when Strowman faced Big Show 3 times on Raw, and Strowman won each and every time, because he's Braun Strowman, and one of the best feuds of 2017. Lesnar beating Kane would give more credibility to Lesnar's title reign, because Kane is a WWE legend. And I think, personally, Kane should be in the Hall of Fame when he retires. But Kane has beaten everybody in his path over the last 20 years. Yet he and Lesnar have never had a high-profile feud before. Plus, think of Lesnar's long history with the Undertaker. So Taker's little brother Kane can match up with Lesnar to see how he does. Perhaps Royal Rumble 2018 is the best time for it. So the next one is Kurt Angle. Now, as the Raw GM, Kurt Angle isn't in a position where he's booking himself in title matches. However, he has had issues with his boss commissioner, Stephanie McMahon, and her husband, Triple H. So perhaps it could be a situation where they force Angle to have a match, maybe with the title, with Lesnar, because of the bad blood going back to the memorable feud in 2003, which included the WrestleMania 19 main event. The concern with Angle facing Lesnar is that he's nearly 50 years old and is obviously banged up. But an event like the Royal Rumble might be the perfect place to do Lesnar versus Angle one more time, which I personally would love to see. Because, like I said, last match I think they had together was in 2003. I could be wrong, because I wasn't a fan in 2003. I was only 1 year old, or 1 year old, not years. Yeah, but I would love to see that match one more time. But Angle getting a shot against Lesnar could also cause problems with Angle's son, Jason Jordan. So let's say Angle loses the match and Jordan finally snaps on his dad for being a glory hound that is taking opportunities for himself rather than giving them to deserving talent, which Kurt does have talent, I'll give him that. But it could lead to an Angle versus Jordan at WrestleMania, which I would love to see that, like father versus son. I would kind of like to see that. I think that would be a match that I would like to see, and a lot of people might like to see as well. So the next one is Finn Balor. So I know that the plan has supposedly changed, but who's to say it can't change back? Balor has been getting his ass kicked by Kane repeatedly in the last month, but if you remember TLC, Balor beat AJ Styles, which was an amazing moment. Like, not because Finn beat AJ, but because at the end they did like the club hand thing, like this thing. And everyone, and the chants was, and the crowd was like chanting, "Too sweet, too sweet." Yeah, I love that moment. I have yet to get TLC on DVD though, but I did see that match on TV. And also, if you see like a glare here, that's like my computer screen or something. I probably will have, like, this is kind of getting annoying. Just try to ignore it as best as you can. So in my next video, if it doesn't involve a computer, I will definitely be moving to a different place in my room or place in my house. I don't know. But it was Styles though. AJ nearly beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series 2 weeks ago. So Balor could mention how he knows he can topple Lesnar in a wrestling not in a wrestling match, but using wrestling math. So the next one, or people, is Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Now I know they're tag team, and I love them as a tag team. I love the Shield, but this is actually one of my dream matches. Like Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Universal Championship is kind of one of my big matches, actually. I can't lie. But Rollins and Ambrose are former rivals of Lesnar, or former. It sounded like I said formal, but I said former. But they're former rivals of Lesnar who have been out of the Universal title picture for most of the year as well, which makes me think that it was done for a reason. Now, one of my favorite Lesnar matches ever, I watched it on YouTube because I wasn't a wrestling fan of 2015, but it was during Royal Rumble 2015 when he faced John Cena and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match for his WWE title. It was originally going to be Lesnar versus Cena, but then they changed it up by adding Rollins, who put on a spectacular performance. But putting Lesnar in a triple threat, or by putting Lesnar in a triple threat, they can make it more of a brawl, do spots using the table, and build to more believable near falls than if he was in a singles match against either opponent. The storyline also sets up nicely for Reigns. If his buddies Rollins and Ambrose couldn't beat Lesnar, will people think Reigns can? You can have Rollins and Ambrose tell Reigns he can't do it because they were unable to do it together. Of course, Reigns will pull it off at WrestleMania because that's what Vince McMahon wants. But I'm talking about the story going into it. It's definitely a compelling setup. And the final person is Samoa Joe. Now, this is admittedly a safe pick. The last time Lesnar faced Joe was at Great Balls of Fire on July 9th in a match that went only 6 minutes and 25 seconds long. It was one of the most anticipated matches of 2017, and I could not wait for that match. It was definitely one of my dream matches. And it was also a dream match for a lot of us as well. But when it was over, we were left with one question. That's it? I know I was. But, sure, they were both part of the SummerSlam Fatal 4-Way main event 1 month later. But that was more about building to Lesnar versus Strowman. I think what WWE needs to do at Royal Rumble 2018 is to give us Lesnar versus Joe one more time. Except it needs to be a much more competitive match, a longer match, and a better match. The other match was a good one, too. I'll give him that. It definitely did have a lot of competitiveness in that match as well at Great Balls of Fire, but I want to see this one with a more competitiveness. I want it to be a longer match and a better match than it was at Great Balls of Fire. And Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar certainly have the talent to do it. But, so that is it for this video. There are other names that are possible, such as The Miz, Bray Wyatt, or getting somebody from SmackDown in a shakeup or as a free agent. But those are just 5 of them that I would love to see face Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble for the Universal title. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Give it a thumbs up if you want to see more of these, except with a different person. And I'll see you guys next week back here, or next Thursday on my main channel. Bye, guys.